Welcome back, my happy chappy. So this is the system. So what I realized in the system was we learn from theories. All a theory is someone's idea of something. You could have an idea or something, I could have an idea, or their belief in what you think is true. And now what you think is true and what I think is true could be different. So we both could go to the beach and it could be shining beautifully, it could be warm, there could be a lot of people around us enjoying themselves, as it would be seen. But you might not feel that it's a good day. Whatever's going on within you, yet I could feel it was a good day. So then we come back to a day where we meet acquaintances that we both know. And they ask us, how was our day? Well, I might say that, or you might say even, that it was a lovely day. It was summer, there was people laughing, it was lovely and warm, I got a nice tan, felt good. Or I could say, I didn't like it. It was a crap day. It was too warm, too many people, too much noise. Didn't like the sand on my feet. The water was still cold. Yet, there were only two different beliefs of the same thing. So now, it becomes theory to our recipients of what they can make up of that story in two forms. And so they get a story which is a theory because they weren't actually there to know what the truth was, yet it would only be their truth. And so we find ourselves in a system that is like this, that someone somewhere had a belief of something and they decided to make that a teaching. A teaching so it would be yours, it would be mine, it would be everyone's belief. And so we have a system that creates this belief of theories that are one dimension, I like to think of, as I learned psychology. I say I learned it. I homeschooled myself. But I went to college to study it. And when I went to college to study it, what I found was that we were learning a lot of theories that had been handpicked by a system that run off theories. And I used to look at it and think, but what makes this person right? I'm not saying that they're wrong, but what makes them right? You see, what's it to stop me from having a theory? I could make up a story no matter about anything. but doesn't mean that it's right. Doesn't mean that it happened. And so we live off these theories. And when I would go to class, I would find out what people were studying in their sections and who people knew about psychology and who they didn't know. And I would start to see that I knew of people that understood psychology that so well around the world who I'd studied that wasn't even heard of in these theories or known of, which brought up question marks about, well, theory. How much of it is the truth? Well, it's only somebody's truth that is pushed upon everybody. Everybody that takes part, that gives up their own truth, gives up their own power of authority of what truth they are. So, what we get is a system of leadership, control, where you have a party of such that gives you theories to class it as truth. And they who join the party take that as the truth and nothing but the truth. Yet, in that truth, you're told it's a theory. You get told it many a times that it's just a theory. So, what do I want to know somebody's theory for? I want to know the knowing. And so, learning from many of the theories, not just the theories that was in the system of theories, but stepping outside of the box and looking at other people who studied psychology, who studied the mind, the body, everything, and looked at their theories, then bringing it into a context to have your own truth by analysing it all in who you are as a being to get that truth. So you don't actually get the truth looking at theories. What you do is get manipulated into a belief of someone else's story or stories. And until you step outside of that, then you'll be running off theories that you call truths, which are half-truths, because it's a perception that someone had in how they seen it. Like when we go to the beach, how we could see it so different. A theory is all it is. That comes of people's stories, beliefs in how they perceived things to be. And we all have our own truth. And what I've found in religion it's the same truth. Theories that people follow. and believe that that's the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. But is it? Think about it. They're just theories, other people's beliefs, perceptions. Now you either take it as a truth and let that have the power over you to leave someone else's perception to be yours and never to understand or think for yourself. Never know how to be the truth of you. As you find half-truths in the theories and step out of that, but bringing them theories that you learn to you, to understand who you are in your truth, and not the truth of theories of others. Others who have taken these theories and put them into systems so they could control you and manipulate you into their beliefs, taking away your consciousness of who you are, your godly consciousness, leaving you as man, nothing but man who will obey. Which is a lot of the Western side of the world. And what you will find is it's a covenant. What you might find is, if you look up British equals covenant of men. An entrapment of an illusion that has been created for you to believe through government, through religion, through schooling. And so you live in that covenant of men under British laws. Laws seen in as the person above you, like you would go to court. You would see them in that long robe, the judge, sitting behind his desk above you, or to a church behind his altar with his long robe high above you, or a teacher with their big desk sitting up in front of you while they stand above you. In a different direction than you, facing you, like they're the leader, as we all face them, as that one singular individual faces us as the person of authority, as of a right of truth, yet telling us the theory of their system, that they want to be all of our truth, so we don't use our conscious mind, our godly thought, our godly choice, our godly being of who we are, to make decisions for ourselves. Yet we go on out into the world and we have that belief that we choose for who we are. When we choose of programming of systems, of somebody else's theories. And we have that way of being to believe that we are making our own choices, while we are making choices from the programming in the covenant that we've been conditioned in under the British way. Just think about it. Or don't. Just run off your theories and be the British way. Be ruled by the covenant. This is Happy Chapa. Love and peace.